Okay, now I'll do the share. For some reason, the button disappeared on me. So, okay. So, anyway, we're going to record this and the fundamental components of a good blog post. So this is what I've come up with here. We got seven components. So there's the topic of your blog post, title, the content of the post, a little bit of SEO. We're going to talk a little bit about how to optimize just the text part of it, the writing part of it, of your. And by the way, SEO, I don't mean to throw out complicated terms here. SEO is search engine optimization. That is like the art of trying to show up in Google. So if somebody is looking for something you talk about, there's ways to like sort of optimize your content. So hopefully Google will choose some of your stuff to show people that are searching for it, rather than maybe something else that's less related. So we're going to talk a little bit about that, some of the SEO, search engine optimization techniques. A good blog post is easy to read. There's some tricks with images that we'll talk about. And then there's usually a call to action at the bottom. Usually you want somebody to do something after when it's all said and done. So let's dive in. And so here's when we get into the topic, okay? How do you pick topics to talk about? So number one is you want to know your audience and who you're blogging to. You want to know what they're searching for. And this goes along with know your niche too, and by the way, I say niche. So know the niche that you're presenting in. So if it's something, like if you're in tune with it, you're going to be able to sort of figure out what people know intuitively. And or the other thing is when you do some of the research, you'll be able to sort of intuitively know what it is that people are looking for and searching for. So that's part of it. So I recommend you blog about something that you like, something that something you're passionate about, something along those lines, rather than trying to pick something that maybe you think people are interested in trying to make a blog about it. So I'm a fan of the brainstorm technique where you just sit there, you just write down a bunch of topics and you just go, and whether they're related or not, you just sit there or you type them out, whatever you're going to do, and just dump, like kind of get your subconscious involved in it and just, do a whole bunch of just try and come up with as much as you can. Okay. From there, you can do some competitor research. And what that means is you go on Google and you search for your topic and you see who's blogging about it. What topics do they have? Can you do like one of their topics better? Can you, maybe there's something that is related, but they haven't touched on. Those are always good topics. Like if you can find like a little window into something. So like, for example, let's say you do smart vacuums or something like that, robot vacuums, that's your niche. Okay. And so there might be somebody did a whole bunch of the ones, but they haven't done the Amazon ones or something, and you are familiar with the Amazon ones. So that's always a good way to break into a niche like that, if you can find kind of a pocket where they have it. But also maybe it's just not very good. Maybe you will have some other stuff we're going to get into when we get into content. We're going to talk about some of the ways to make better content and do it better. But so that's a way to do it. So look at what your competitors are doing. Look at their images. Look at who comes up first on Google, and that sort of thing, and see what people are talking about. Okay, so here's search Google. Look at when you look for something, go in and try and let's see here. Like, so if we're going to do robot vacuums, I don't know why I'm doing it. Robot vacuum reviews. Okay. And then like right in here, there's the people also ask, okay, are robot vacuums really worth it? Which robot vacuums is best? Okay. This is a way to get some more topics. This is what people, and then when you click on them, okay, then some more pop up. Okay, so this is a good way too, also to do a little research on the topic that you are looking for and see if there's anything in here. You might go and see which ones. Sometimes these are wrong, they're just completely wrong. And so maybe you decide to write something about that. Okay, so that's a way. There's also down here in the let's see, right down here, there's the related searches. There might be something down in here, so this is a way to do some research for what it is that you are trying to do. There's also Google Trends is another one. So if we go to, let me click out of here. And Google Trends will tell you for different topics. This is kind of interesting to look at the end of the year. It's a little slow coming up. But, like Queen Elizabeth, there's one right there that's trending. If we click on this, my computer's going a little slow here. But anyway, it'll show you that it's like trending up. So right in here, I don't know if that's the trend right there, maybe it is the dotted lines there. So anyway, that's a way to look at topics, like what topics are coming up and that sort of thing. So that's some ways to sort of brainstorm topics. Go ahead, Tessa. I was going to ask you. Yeah, go ahead.
A question, is Google Trends something you have to pay for, or you just type it in?
It's free. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. It's completely free. It's like, it's kind of, I find it sort of hit and miss for stuff. It's nice to look at. It's fun to look at the end of the year, because usually Google will send something out. So I don't know. Sometimes it's helpful, sometimes it's not. So, and then I forgot these. So then another trick for getting a topic ideas is to go into YouTube. YouTube has the search components to it. TikTok is now like a big search engine now. That's like a newer thing. Okay, that's what young people, they don't get on Google. They do TikTok for their searches. And then also Reddit. And in YouTube, like if you go down, it's one thing to look at the topics and kind of see what people are doing, but another thing is if you go into the comments down in YouTube, and there's people that ask questions down there, and you can get topic ideas down there. So those are some ways to sort of research and brainstorm topics. Does anybody have any questions or anything like that about this, or any alternative ideas?
Just really quick, sorry. When you did the thing for trends, you just typed in Google Trends?
Yeah, so it's trends.google.com.
Oh, thanks.
Yes. So it's where's the chat here? Chat. Here we go. So yeah, let me just click on this.
Are these notes going to be in the chat?
I can let me see.
It's okay. I don't mind taking notes either.
No, it's fine. Let me see here. Can I, if I did these, like if I played, let's see here. Presenter view. See, right now I'm just in the this is like, there's a presentation way of doing this. I'm just trying to see if there's a way to, I'm sure there's a way to email these maybe. Let me get out of here.
Either way, it helps me to remember things to write them down anyway. So
okay, well let me just see if there's, because if I can, yeah, I can probably do a share right here. Copy link. All right, I'll throw this in the chat here. Hopefully I don't have anything high tech that I just shared or anything like that. So anyway, okay, so let's go on to topic title. Let's see. So the title is the next component of a compelling blog post. So you notice the title, I came up with this thing. Okay, so and actually, let's start here. So the title, when you blog about something, we're going to get into the SEO part of it. I talked about that, but you want like a keyword that you are focusing your blog around. Okay. So you're going to focus it around like one specific topic. Every blog post should have one specific topic. Those topics should be unique and not copied. So you don't want two blog posts about the same topic. You want one blog post per topic, and you can kind of, niche it down, if you will. Okay. So the title should contain that keyword. Okay. So if this was a blog post, like my keyword might be a compelling blog post. Okay. That might be the keyword for what I'm doing. Okay. How to make a compelling blog post. So you want that keyword here up in the title. Okay. Let's see here. And then you want some adjectives. Okay. So here's something I'll share with you guys. This is, I keep this bookmarked on my, it's in the chat now. I keep this bookmarked on my, in my bookmarks here. These are emotion words. Okay. Fear words, encouragement. This is from Smart Blogger. Lust, anger. There's 7 different things here. So here's the fear power words right here. Right. So we have just a list of words. Okay. Agony, apocalypse, painful, devastating, so these are like words that you want to throw in there. Vulnerable. Okay. Here's encouragement, daring, spirit, these are all kind of good words. So like when I made this title, my first, the first thing was like, what's a good blog post or something, that's kind of what I was thinking the title would be. What makes a good blog post? So then I thought, well, I came up here and I have fundamental, and I know I misspelled fundamental on the image of this meetup. So I had fundamental. I kind of wish I would have put essential in there, like essential elements instead of components. But anyway, so that's a way of kind of attracting attention. And then I looked through my list here, and one of these I found the word compelling, and that seemed right, because like, what are you going to put? A delightful blog post, in a risky blog post, so I came across the word compelling. That seemed good. So I put that in there. And so the fundamental component, so it's, I could put, hey, what's a good blog post, and put that in the chat or put that in there. It's kind of a boring title. Okay. And so you want to get some emotion words, some pain words in there. If you put a number in there, a lot of times that works. So I could have put the 7 compelling components of a blog, or whatever. So putting a number in there works a lot of times, but I didn't have this made up when I put that out there, so I didn't know how many elements there were going to be. But in general, no matter what you do, because sometimes you can put the adjectives in there, and it's not really, you're still kind of you're kind of like maybe not leaving a lot of curiosity. So what no matter what, you want to leave the reader, make the reader a little bit curious, that's where these clickbaity titles come in, like they prey on this kind of thing where they, you won't believe the 7 whatevers, and they make you curious about like how that would do it. So like bottom line, these are like little tricks right here. Contains the keyword, that's for SEO. Adjectives, contains a number. Those are tricks to sort of try and make it interesting. But the bottom line is, don't be boring. Make the reader curious. Okay. That's the bottom line for the title. And whether you use these things, use other things, whatever, try and make the reader a little bit curious so that they want to click. Don't get too clickbaity, but try and make the reader curious. So we got somebody coming in here. So number 3, good content. Okay. So what is good content? Good content starts with the purpose. So what I mean by that is, I was thinking about this the other day. Like if you are a business and you want to sort of like drive people to your website. So you think like, okay, well, what are we going to do? Let's start blogging. That's a way to drive people to the website. Okay. That's a way to drive traffic. So you start blogging, and you know, your purpose in doing that is just sort of to, you know, do it good enough to handle it, to, you know, just to get, you know, some traffic there. I say, you know, we as bloggers, we are the ones that care about what we're doing. We're the ones that are kind of putting the heart and soul into it. So I think we as bloggers, you know, our purpose is to make the best content we can and put out the best blog posts we can. So when I talk about it, it starts with the purpose. You know, you can sort of like kind of do the minimum, or you can like really try and nail it. And I say, you know, that's where I'm coming out with it. We as bloggers should really, you know, try and do the best we can with it, you know, put out the best. We may not be good at it. You know, when I first started blogging, I did, you know, I wrote blog posts. I did the best I could. I go back and look at those old ones and they're just horrible, you know, but it's the best I could do. I put everything into it. And then as I've learned, I've made them better and better, you know? So I just think like, if you're going to blog, if you're going to do this, and if you're blogging about something you like, try and put the best thing out there that you possibly can. Okay. And that right there will beat a lot of the people that are doing it just to kind of go through the motions. Okay. That's my point.
Mhm.
So content length. There are different kind of schools of thought on this. Google just took away their minimum content length. Okay. And this is one of those things where a lot of people will spit out a number. You know, they say your content should be at least 1,000 words, should be 2,000. For a while there, people were saying it should be 4,000 and 10,000 to be really drive traffic and that sort of thing. Content length for me is not about a number. It's about what does it take to, so you want to put out a great blog post, answer everything as detailed as you can, or as best you can, but you don't want anything more than that. So a lot of times I'll write something out and I'll just write the whole thing, and then I come back through and edit stuff out. So you don't want it, you want it to be detailed, and you want it to be like a great piece of content, but you don't, you know, you want to keep it moving too. And so there's a balance there. You don't want to add words to it because somebody said it should be longer. Okay. A lot of times people will say 1,200 words and you're at 800. So you throw in a couple paragraphs to try and make it 1,200. I say, don't do that. Okay. Answer, just do the best you can with it. If you know your niche, you're going to know what it takes to answer that piece of content or that question, and just do that. So another thing is, a lot of people, they're using these AI readers, and AI people are just writing blogs with artificial intelligence. Okay. They're not actually doing anything. And we talked about this last week a little bit, and they're actually pretty good. Okay. I've seen some of them or I should say last month, but anyway, AI computers can write pretty good content these days. Okay. So the more you can differentiate what you're doing. So you don't want, if you're going out and you are kind of looking at what somebody else does, and you just sort of copy their subheadings and copy what they're doing, put it in your own words, that's not really great content. Okay. Because you're not really creating anything. You're just rewording and that's what those AI readers do a lot of times. In fact, when I first started blogging, I had a guy that did this to me. He copied what I did, put it in his own words, and I had a chart in there that I made. This chart wasn't anywhere on the internet, and I just made a little table that had some stats to it, and I compiled it myself. And the guy, so he kind of, he didn't plagiarize because he put it in his own words, but he copied everything, and then he copied my chart, and that's where I had him. So I emailed him and asked him to put a link to his post, because this guy was like way more popular than I was. to put a link to his post to mine. And so anyway, that helped me out. So anyway, so there is so if you can put in charts, graphs, tables, infographics, whatever you can do to make it as original as possible. This stuff is a lot harder to copy. It's helpful to the reader. Whatever you can do, if you're a drawer and you can put in some, graphics or something like that, and it's helpful to your audience, do it. Okay. And try and make your blog post the best piece of content out there. Okay. And then types of blog posts.
I had a question.
Yes, go ahead.
So what if like the posts that you have in mind are like mostly contain like pictures? Like for example, like art or like in my case, like fashion pieces.
Mm-hmm.
And like there's not like too much text. Is that a bad thing?
You're gonna have, it's not a bad thing, but you do want some text in there for Google to understand what your blog's about, and for it to rank in the search engines. So hold on with that. We're gonna we'll get into that a little bit more, because I got a couple more suggestions for you. But yeah, you do want, like, one of the things I see, I'm on a Facebook group of bloggers, and there's a lot of cooking bloggers in this thing. And so cooking blogs are just about the recipe, right? And so there's always that sort of challenge of, they put the recipe in, but they do, they try and write some stuff so that they can, so that Google knows what their blog's about. And also, they're running ads and stuff like that. So yeah, I mean, that's kind of the same, like a same type of challenge. So yeah, let me come back to that. In fact, it might be in the next slide a little bit about what you might be able to do about that. And then finally, so these are types of blog posts. Okay, listicles are those, like, the 5 best robot vacuum cleaners for people with pets, that sort of thing. That's a listicle. So there's listicles, how-tos, if you want to, I do a lot of how-to articles. You can do a review of product. You can just do like a deep dive on a subject, roundup posts, a question post. A question post is good for those, like those people also ask in the Google search results. A lot of, like a question post format can work for that. A story post, a versus post, this versus this type of thing. Maybe you have a hot take or an opinion on something you want to put out there. The reason I list these like this is that what I have found recently, this is kind of a newer thing that I've been trying to do, and maybe I think it's been out there a long time and I just discovered it, but is that there are templates. You can get post templates for these things. Okay, so you can kind of Google, like how to blog post template, and there'll be some formats in here, like for HubSpot, or these 7 proven blog post templates, okay, that work like a charm. Okay, and there's that's kind of a good title right there, when we were talking about titles there. So like right in here, you can see this classic list post, detailed case study. Okay, so anyway, the formats can help you, they can help you with the post, and also they can help speed up, the production of that post too. One of the things I found, like for this question format, for example, is, I found a generic template, and their template is like, you put the question up in the beginning and you answer it right away. Okay. You put the question up, you answer it, which seems kind of counterintuitive to me, right? And then the blog post expands on the answer. And so it does 2 things. One is it might get you ranked in Google as far as, like, it might pull your answer into the question up there on the first page of the content. But the other thing is it's just it's a good format. I just hadn't, it's something I would usually not answer it right away. So anyway, I've kind of adjusted the way I do it. It just seems like kind of a good format for doing that. And so anyway, these, if you have some templates, I think it's helpful. Okay. So I'll leave it at that. SEO. Okay, so search engine optimization. So we talked about this. You want every blog post to have a focus keyword, and you want to craft that post around that keyword. So the keyword should be, if you want to optimize your post for this keyword. Okay, so you want the keyword in the title. You want it in the slug, and the slug is this thing up here. So in the URL. So if it says let's see here. I don't have a good example. Right here, power words, smart blogger power words. Okay, that's their keyword for that post. So you want it in the title, the slug, in the description, which is called the meta description. You fill that out in the WordPress when you are doing your blog. In your subheadings, okay, in your H2, in your H3, not every H2, not every H3, some of them, and then sprinkled throughout. You want it in your images, and we'll talk about how to do that. But that's kind of how you do it. So you don't want to over optimize, but you want it to be clear. This is what this post is about. Okay, this post is about power words. It's got power words throughout. Okay, they put that into I'm sure they have it in some of their subheadings and that sort of thing. Lust power words. They keep repeating it here. Okay, so it's obvious to Google what this post is about, and this is assuming you're trying to get ranked in Google for what your content is. Okay, so one of the things, and it seems like this comes up every single meetup, is to have an SEO plugin. Okay, and you can get this for your blog. There is Rank Math. So I use this blog right here is one of my blogs. And so right over here on the right, there's a place where you put in your focus keyword. Okay. This particular blog, I don't care that I'm not trying to rank.
My WordPress meetup till 12.
Oh, sorry, Tessa, you're okay. So we put the focus keyword in here, and then it's going to tell you, add the keyword in the SEO title, add it to your meta description, which I'll have to find where the meta description is. Put it in the URL, which is up here. This blog, I'm not trying to get this found in search. I don't care if Google finds it or not. So I only do this with certain articles on this. But that's where you do it. So this is an SEO plugin. This one's called Rank Math here. Rank Math is an SEO plugin. And anyway, it's going to help you keep on track. Okay. When you're writing, it'll tell you hey, you've only got this in one subheading. Maybe you should put it in another subheading. Okay. The keyword type of thing. So anyway, there's Rank Math, there's Yoast, all-in-one SEO. Let me put it in the chat here. Rank Math, Yoast, all-in-one SEO, and SEO framework, I think, are the main ones. And you might even look for ones besides that. So anyway, if you don't have an SEO plugin, I recommend it. You don't have to have one, but I just feel like it helps keep you on track, and especially if you're not, used to doing SEO and you do want your stuff to get found in the blog post, or in Google, I should say. I just think that they are very helpful to keep you on track with your blogging. Okay. Any questions about SEO plugins? And keep in mind, I can't see your hands, so there's the little symbols at the bottom if you want to raise your hand, or you can put something in the chat or whatever. Oh, and then I was going to talk about what was the so for the Francesca, this is what you would want to do. Is you want, I think this would be this is one of the things I think might work for you, is to have this SEO plugin. And then you're going to have a lot of images, and it'll kind of tell you, you know, how much content, like how many, things you should have in your blog post and that sort of thing. I think this might be helpful to you. And then there's one, when we get to images, there's one more thing I would suggest.
Okay. For these like plugins, do you have
Yes.
to pay for them? The majority of them?
The ones I listed in there, I think are all free. I don't like this rank math one. I don't pay for it. I like Yoast the best, I think.
Mhm.
And that has, so there's a free version, and then there's like a paid, version. And all you need is the free one if you're just, starting out. So
Okay.
like the rank math one, I don't pay for. Yoast, I do end up paying for it, but it took me several years before I even started paying for that.
Oh, okay. Thank you.
So yeah, they're free, and I don't know if you guys know how to upload them or not. But you go to in your blog, let's see here. Over here, you can, right here, plugins, add new, and you can put those in, so SEO plugins, these will come up in here. And so there's all in one, rank math, Yoast. There's this one. I've never heard of that one, but that might be good. Anyway, SEO framework, that's kind of a lightweight one. So anyway, that's how you do it. You activate them, and you'll see it in here with your installed plugins. So anyway, any more questions? Okay. So let's see here. So SEO plugins. So internal linking. You want to kind of link your articles to one another. So we did a meetup at one point. I don't know if it's in that I don't know if we ever uploaded or recorded it, but we did one on topic clusters. And a lot of times what you want to do is you kind of want to aim and hit a topic. So you might have like one, like the main topic, and then several supporting posts about it. So like if we go back to our robot vacuum illustration, you might have one on, like, you might have a hub on like smart home products. Like if you have a tech blog, you might have one hub about smart home products. Okay. And that's your main topic. And then you want like a lot of supporting topics. And so one might be robot vacuums, might be, robot vacuums for pets. It might be cameras. It might be, that sort of thing. It's kind of nice if you can have a cluster on a particular topic, and then what you do is you link your posts to one another, and that kind of helps Google understand how important the content is. And so that's internal linking and topic clusters. So that's kind of like, SEO is kind of complicated if you're not familiar with it. Some of this is just like coming to the meetups and like absorbing it, and eventually you start to understand it if it's something that you're not familiar with. But anyway, that's kind of helps you just keep on track. Like I said, I recommend a plugin. The plugin is going to keep you, it's going to, if you don't know how to do it, it's going to kind of keep you on track and have you optimize your post a little bit. So formatting, easy to read. Okay. So here's an example of a post that's easy to read. So we've all seen the big wall of text, right? So Morning Brew is a newsletter. I subscribe to it. It comes every morning. Anyway, I think it's pretty interesting. I like it a lot. Anyway, so this is one of their articles right here. Okay, they do a great job of formatting their posts. Okay, so you can have a big wall of text. You can have, but you want to break it up and make it so it's readable. You want white space in here. So you can see they have a paragraph. They keep their paragraphs relatively short. You know, they got a subheading here. They got the bold text here. They've got the bullet points, more bold. Okay, this is a pretty easy to read. As far as like looking at it, it's pretty easy to read and it's not super intimidating. Okay, so you want to take some of that, those hints, I guess, and put that into your own thing. So you want, you know, lots of white space on your articles. So you want like font size. There's a place in your blog to do your, let's see here. Let me get to one of my posts here. You can adjust the font size here. Let's see, where is it here? So right here, so you can have size large. Okay, I'm doing 20 pixels on this thing. See how big these things are? So you want big reading. You want your paragraphs to be just a couple lines in general, 2 to 3 lines, and then hit the return button. Okay, your line height right here. Okay, that's how much space is in between these things right here. That's, you want that to be no less than 1.5. And so I'm doing 2 on the line height here. So you want to keep big text spread apart, you know, keep your lines separate. And you know, anyway, that's what you want to do to make this easy to read. Okay, this is all about formatting here. Paragraphs, 2 to 3 lines, hit the return button, start a new paragraph. Okay, 1 to 2 sentences usually is what you want a paragraph to be. Buzzwords, if you're in a technical industry or something like that, keep your buzzwords down, write in plain English. I would say an exception to this would be, I'm trying to remember who it was that said they were going to write a technical blog. Okay, if your audience is like, you know, I don't know, doctors or scientists or something like that, then you want to talk in the lingo that they are talking in. Okay, but for the most part, if your audience is just kind of the public, you want to keep you want to make it very easy to understand, and don't do a lot of buzzwords. So
Yeah.
here, go ahead.
That's what I was going to say. There are some bloggers in the database area that are clear, and then there are some that are, you know, really heavy on the jargon. So I always read the clear ones.
Yes, it makes a big difference. Yeah.
Mhm.
And also just using, you know, buzzwords. Like, what I mean by a buzzword is like a technical term or something. Like, you know, I used the word SEO earlier, and some people may not know what that is. Okay, that's a buzzword. So yeah, it's, you know, you want to make it easy to read. So there's this thing called the Flesh score. I think I'm pronouncing that right. I know the Yoast SEO plugin will refer to it. Okay, I don't know if the other ones do rank math and that sort of thing, but this is sort of just a way to make your blog easy to read. Okay, and it kind of tells you, I'm putting that in the chat, and then also I'll put the Wikipedia link in here. And there's also, even if you don't use the Yoast plugin, I think there are other ways of you know, sites where you can you know, sort of check your text against this. So this is like, it's going to give you a score. Like, so you know, like I said, the Yoast plugin will automatically read your text and it'll say it has this score. That means it's fairly easy to read. It has this score. It's hard to read, that sort of thing. So this is not a bad way of, you know, it's not perfect, but it's not a bad way of trying to make, you know, like I think it was Dev was saying, you know, some of the stuff, it can be very hard to read, and this is a nice way of checking that. So there's other tools too, like, you know, for Chrome, I use Grammarly. Where I'm trying to see, it might be on my other browser. I use Grammarly. There's a free version of Grammarly, and it's a Chrome extension. So when I'm writing, and it'll tell me if you misspelled something, it tells you. Sometimes it'll reword things for you. It's a helpful plugin. There's one called Hemingway. I don't know if they have a free version or not. They might, the Hemingway app. And so these are ones to look at that can help you write your content. And I think these will use that Flesh score too. So that's another way. You might, maybe you don't use the Yoast app, but you use Grammarly, and that'll tell you how easy, things are to read. So anyway, formatting, paragraphs, no buzzwords, keep your font size to be minimum, I would say 16 minimum, 16 to 20. And then, keep your line spacing at 1.5 at minimum, and two to three, lines per paragraph. Anyway, the formatting makes a huge difference in the readability. Okay, moving on. We got this one and another one left. Okay, images. So images are another way of making your blog post more interesting. But there's a trick to kind of putting them in here. So I think, if you can do original images whenever possible, I hate seeing those stock photos, and I'm not saying I do use some stock photos on occasion. I just don't have the right thing. But if you can use original images whenever possible, do it. And I just think that's the best way to do it. So in the images, there's a thing called the alt text. Let's see here. I don't have an image in here. This might have it in here though. So right over here. So alt text. Okay. You want to put in there, you're supposed to put in there what the image is about. And that is a way of telling Google because Google just sees the image, So this is a way of telling Google what the image is about. So that's something you want to put. You want the alt text in every single. You want to fill that out in every single image that you upload, okay, and put in your blog. And so you want to put the alt text. And this is another thing where that might help Francesca, is with her images that she uploads, she is going to want to fill out the alt text. I would fill out the captions and the descriptions. There's places for all that stuff too. I don't see it in this particular one, but when you upload the image, there's all sorts of stuff to fill out. And I would do as much of that as you can to help not just Google, but also people just understand what is going on there. So that's another little
Thank
trick.
you.
Okay. And now here's another thing. Images are they are a speed killer. Okay, so what I mean by speed is when when you bring up somebody's site and it takes a long time for the everything to sort of populate in there and the images to pop up and that sort of thing, you can get slow loading sites, and images are one of the big culprits in killing your site speed. And site speed is important because if it takes too long to load, people are they're going to go elsewhere. Okay. They might think something's wrong with your site or something like that. So if you have like a 5 megabyte image and you try and upload that can kill the speed, and it's no good. Okay. So I had somebody I know that I feel like knows something about this. They recommend like 100 kilobytes max on the image. And if you don't know what I'm talking about, let me see. Let's see here. Do we have images in this right here? So this might have in the, I don't know if we will be able to see it in here or not. Yeah, I don't think we're going to see it in here. But anyway, this will tell you can click on the image and see, like, especially if you own the image, you can like usually hover over it and it'll tell you how big your image is, as far as megabytes or kilobytes. So you need to shrink those down. There's plugins that'll do it. There's like one called Smush, and there's I'm trying to think of what the names of the plugins are.
I do it on GIMP.
What's it called?
GIMP,
GIMP?
GIMP.
Okay.
It's
That's
free.
okay. Yeah, that's one I haven't heard about. But yeah, let's, that's so there's a review for that one. GIMP. I'm just trying to see what we have here. Image compression plugins. And so there's Smush. There is Ew, which is one I used to use. Imagify is one I use right now. So these all work. I know, there's they will kind of compress your images for you. Okay. So anyway, that's something you want to do. You can do it in Photoshop if you got Photoshop, and you just, when you export your image, you just, they got the little slider there that you can set it to what you want. So keep your images lightweight before, ideally before you upload them. But if you got one of those plugins, you'll have to do it when you upload it. And then the other thing is, if you want to make your post interesting, having videos, you can embed YouTube videos in there. You can embed audio, for blog posts or for podcasting, that sort of thing. Any kind of that stuff to make your post more interesting. Okay, this goes along with tables and that's that type of stuff. Try go the extra mile to make your post more interesting than what else is out there. That's my advice. So, and then a call to action. So usually this is kind of a marketing thing. Yeah, usually when they're done reading something, you want them to take action. Okay, they're on your website, they've read your content, they're down at the bottom. What do you want them to do? Okay, if you have an email list that you're marketing to them with, you might put that down there and have that for the I'm going back to Morning Brew here. Okay, so here we get down to there. You can share their article. Okay, that's one of their calls to action. They have related content, so you stay on their site. Maybe you'll go to one of the other things. They also have their email sign up here if you're not already a subscriber. So they have like kind of multiple calls to action there. So sometimes you have one, sometimes you have multiple, but if you're selling something, you might want them to go buy something. Okay, so you might put a big button down at the bottom and have them click over to buy something. Okay, so sign up for your email list, buy something, read more posts. If you have a local business, maybe you want them to schedule an appointment or something like that, read your reviews, something like that. So a good blog post at the bottom will have some sort of a call to action there that you want them to do, even if it's just read another article and stay on your site. So that's it. So the 7 elements are have a good topic, make the title compelling, have good content, make it SEO, try and optimize it, make it easy to read with a lot of white space, upload your images, but do it smart, have a call to action. So that's it. Where are we at here? We're 11:11, so we got plenty of time. So any questions or anything like that? Oh, here we go. Stop share. Or any comments or anything. Did you guys check your email? Were you able to get the notes on that? I feel like maybe I put everybody to sleep here.
No, I'm good. I have questions and I'm checking my email. Whoops.
I have another question.
Or actually, what did I do? I put it. Oh yeah, I put
So
it in
you-
the chat here.
Yeah, you put it in the chat, and then when I tried to get to it, it said I need permission. So I
Oh,
think
Yes.
there's a way you share a link and say people with the link can view or
okay.
something.
Okay.
Yeah,
Yeah, I
it's
think
a
you're right. I
setting in the
have
Google
this.
Doc.
Yeah, I have it set so nobody can. Yeah. Okay. Let me. I'll probably play around with that after. So save that link for you guys. and try it, I would say like in an hour after the thing. Okay. And I will try and, I'll try and open up the sharing on. I want to, I got a lot of spreadsheets and stuff like that I don't want out. So I got to be careful how I open up the sharing on it. So not that you guys look suspect or anything like that. So any comments? I mean, does this jive with some of your experiences with blogging, or do you guys have anything that you say, hey, you missed this or something like that?
I think this was a good summary. I mean, some of these things I have heard about before, but some of your suggestions were new to me and things that I want to try. So I think overall it's great.
Good. Good.
I have a question.
Yeah,
or,
go ahead.
Like multiple questions.
Okay.
The first one would be like, because I've like heard about plugins, but what would you say are like the essential plugins to have, like for your blog?
Yeah, that's a good question. I think we talked about this a little bit. I would say the essential, so your blog is it's fashion, and it's a lot of images, right? So let's
Yeah.
see here. I would say, what do I have for plugins? Let's start with that. Installed plugins.
Well, I would say right off, you need a Kismet for spam.
Yes. Yeah. Or this is another one, anti-spam bee. So like if you have comments enabled on your blog, you will get a gazillion people from who knows where commenting on your blog. Okay. So you need a Kismet is the one that's a good one that Tessa recommended, AKISMAT.
Wait, how do you spell them?
Hold on, I'm just gonna put it in the chat because this is probably the most popular one. A Kismet,
Okay.
I think is how you pronounce it. And then anti-spam bee is the one that I got on this blog. So that'll kind of handle a lot of that stuff. They do some sort of a security type thing on it.
Okay.
So that's one. If you run it, I have a contact form. I don't know if you need that. Related posts is kind of nice. You can have a plugin for that.
Okay.
This is one I think you're gonna need. You're gonna need some sort of a gallery plugin, and it might even be one that you want to pay for. I'm not sure what you're doing. So this is Envira. There's other ones. I'm trying to think of the other ones I use. Next Gen is one.
What are the names for those?
Hold on. I know. I hear you. So
Can you not create a gallery with blocks?
yeah, you can.
More primitive, is that it?
Yeah, it's not as if she's got an image site, I'm thinking she might want to do more with it. But yeah, you can do there's a gallery block in your, so like when you can just upload your images and there's a gallery option to put them in, but you can't, I don't think like it like when you click on them, I don't know if it makes them bigger. I think it just sort of like makes them in a mosaic, I think. Because I use that on my other site here. Let me see here. I'll show you the gallery.
Okay.
Go ahead.
I just wanted to ask, like, what are the names of the gallery plugins you mentioned?
So here's two of them right here. Next Gen and Envira. And the other thing is you might go to that plugin store and type in image. Where is my right here? So I use the gallery, just the native block on this right here. So this is, I'm trying to see, can you blow these up? I don't know if they blow up. I don't think they do. So it's a little bit limited. So like here's two of them. Here's two side by side. I got some that are three.
Oh, I can't see.
Oh,
Sure.
I'm sorry.
one thing you can do is you can go to the plugins page, and if you create a sample page on your site that isn't public, you could add one of the plugins for the gallery or the images, and then you can just try it out. And if you don't like it, then just remove it.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, you could always unload it. So this, like I use the gallery on this one. So I think those are standalone images. This is one where there's like, I think there's 2 images here, but you can't click them and make one of them stand out, you know? But you can see these are 2 separate images. That's one, that's another one. Okay. So I use the gallery plugin. It's just a little bit limited, you know? So if you, I for what you're doing, I'm just guessing you're probably going to want a little bit better than this, you know? So anyway,
Okay, thank you.
but yeah, that
Ask,
oh, go ahead.
ask her, what theme are you using for your WordPress? Do you have one picked out yet?
Yeah, I was actually gonna ask about that, like if there are any like resources about like decorating like your blog or like actually knowing how to like customize everything, because I just got started.
Well, you might want to take that WordPress fundamentals class that James was talking about at the beginning, because that will explain a lot of this if you're just brand new to WordPress.
Oh, okay, what is the class?
It's called Fundamentals. It's coming this Wednesday, I think. It's the same meetup like this, but it's in the evening, Wednesday evening, I think it was.
Mm-hmm.
And so they do like brand new, you know, not the, and there's nothing wrong with your questions, by the way. These are good questions, and they come up quite a bit, the ones that you're asking.
Oh, okay.
But yeah, the fundamentals class might be helpful too. But you know, you might just try starting with the 2022 theme for WordPress. You know, it's the one you get for free. And you might like that might not be a bad way to go. Like it does have the new Gutenberg stuff, and you know you'll have to just kind of play around with it and that sort of thing. But you know, you do it in blocks. So but anyway, that might be a good option for you. I think it's, let me see if I have it on, where do you do the themes here? Appearance. Let me see what I got here. So yeah, right here, 2022. So you might just run, you know, you get your WordPress, you download it or whatever you do, and you just activate this theme right here. And there'll be ways to customize it for what you're doing. That might be a good way to get started, you know? It's free too.
Okay, thank you.
One of the things that I found with galleries, I use Modella as I put in this chat, but it's not a freebie, but it gives you a lot more control. Can I go ahead and share my screen and show you what it does?
Yeah, go ahead. Yeah, let me make sure. I mean, you're able to, right? Or do I have to activate it?
No, it's still disabled.
Okay, there we go.
Okay, can you see my screen now?
Yes.
Okay, this is on my genealogy site. This is behind a firewall or paywall, so it's not normally done. But if I come down here and I click on the Photos tab, you see how all of the photos are different sizes and arranged?
Mm-hmm.
When you're building this gallery, you get a chance to, this one of the sets you can do is this way, and you can set the size and the location of where they appear in your gallery.
Okay.
And that's one of the few, I haven't found another one that gives me that much control.
Okay. And this is the this is the one you put in the chat, right?
Modula.
Okay. So yeah, that might be a good one to look into too.
If it fits your, this is pictures of my family. This is my 2 times great grandfather, images that he's in. So you can group them together and make them whatever you want.
Okay, thank you. It looks really like, or it looks very organized, so I like that. Thank you.
Okay. I'll throw my email into the chat, and if anybody has any questions about it, if you want to get a hold of me, please do.
Okay, thank you. Yeah, and it might just be something where you kind of have to just get started with it too, Part of we've had bloggers come on before that have done a lot of planning, and I don't know how much follow-up they've taken on it. And so a lot of it is just, like I didn't know anything when I first started, and you just got to kind of figure it out as you go, some of it. So we're here to help, but there's nothing like experience too. So let's we can open this up. I know there was some people had other questions and that sort of thing. So let's just open it up. Whatever questions you have, whether they're on topic, off topic, whatever you got.
I have a question about the plugin too, actually.
Yeah.
I went to my website and was looking at my plugins because I actually brought up the plugins you mentioned last time to my developer.
Okay.
And I can't remember how he worded it, but he advised me against them.
Okay.
And I was trying to find the one he told me I have just to run it by you, but I can't figure out. I could share my screen, but the only thing I recognize on my plugins it would be Fluent SMPT. Are you familiar with that?
Fluent
Or-
SMPT.
Maybe that's not it. Can I share my screen and can you help me see which one I might have?
Yeah, sure.
Would it be under my plugins on my site?
If you have it installed, yes.
Yeah,
Oh.
it's installed.
Okay, so yeah,
I'm
if
just
you
a little sorry that I can't figure this out, but let's
so it'd
see.
be over on the side. If you go into your site, it's over. You got the menu on the side there.
Can
Yeah.
you see it?
Yes.
Okay, so
Fluent?
these are my plugins. Which one is my,
Yeah, the Fluent SMPT looks like an email. It's SMTP connection is email based
so
Okay.
I'm not,
connection.
I can't remember what he said I have, but I don't see it here. Are there
It was
any?
up on top,
Oh,
right? The Fluent one.
yeah, but she said that's an email one.
Okay, so which one are you asking about?
I'm just trying to figure out what I do have that would be a plugin that would help me with my SEO. Because he said I have one, but now when I went to check just now, this is what I'm seeing. I'm not necessarily seeing it. Do you guys see anything?
Yeah, keep scrolling. No, I don't think you have one.
Geez.
He
Good
might
to-
have taken it off. I understand.
No, I don't think he took it off. I think he thought it was on there. So I'm glad I checked.
Well,
But-
maybe
Yeah,
he's talking about the Google sitemap, which improves.
Yeah, I don't remember him mentioning
It could be that SiteGround optimizer. That could be it. SiteGround is your hosting company.
Yeah,
And so maybe that helps, I don't know.
yeah,
I don't know if
neither
that's-
one of those ring a bell for what he said. So I'm gonna have to follow up with him. So thanks for letting me ask this. And then
Okay.
my other question has to do with a blog I just wrote, but I haven't posted it yet. Let's see, I guess I don't need this anymore here. Well, I don't know if I need to show you something, but if I did, I would just probably go. Anyways, okay. So as I said, I do clairvoyant readings and I was trained with an organization and I talk about that in my bio on my website.
Okay.
But I just recently wrote a blog yesterday about a spiritual technique that I learned in my meditation classes that I use called grounding. And it's I think a lot of people are familiar with grounding in one way or another. Anyways, I often will use a painting because I do watercolor as well. And I have a painting of a tree I was going to do. Anyways, so I was sort of started it with, how do I say this simply? Well, anyway, it's just a personal blog about grounding really, and how it has helped me basically.
Okay.
And, but there is a part where I thought I would teach the technique really simply. Now I'm thinking, really, if I were to do a really good job, I'd probably go into it a little more, but I just teach it in one paragraph. And my question is, since I learned this technique from this organization, even though I'm writing it in my own words, and this is a personal blog about me in relationship to grounding, or
Mhm.
hopefully just to put some information out to other people that may be helpful.
Mhm.
You know, do I need to cite them, or is that okay? I'm kind of running into like, you know, what is and isn't okay.
Yeah, I think if you learned it from them, yeah, I think I think that would be a good idea to cite them, you know,
Mhm.
and link back to their site.
But wouldn't I need to ask them first?
No, because
No?
you can talk about you know, I mean, you can talk about what you know, unless you sign some sort of agreement that, you know, like I'm going to keep this to myself or something, you know.
Well, what's interesting is, no, I haven't signed an agreement.
Well, it's probably safer to link to them because then they can't come back and say you stole it from them. But at
Mhm.
the same time, if the technique is somewhat generic, I mean, if there are other places that do it the same way,
Mhm.
then it's like general knowledge
Yeah,
out there, and that would make a difference, I think.
yeah. And I think it is actually. And what's interesting, I was thinking about this morning, is if I go to their website and you read, the only place, okay, the people who taught me were trained at a different organization that was in California. And the only place they mention them is in their bio, and they aren't citing to them. You know what I mean? So anyways, I'll have to.
You might Google something about grounding and see how many things come up.
Great
Kind of
idea.
compare notes, and if they're all really similar, then you're probably pretty safe just talking about it.
Okay.
Yeah,
If
that's
it's
a good thing. Yeah,
if it's
it's what,
proprietary to that particular organization, then that's where you would run into trouble.
yeah, because that's what I did too. I just put in clairvoyant grounding just to see what come up, you know. I don't know if that's the right term or not. You would
I would
know.
just put in grounding, like grounding and meditation or something. I wouldn't use clairvoyant with it. But
Okay. Well, you can't put just grounding because I think that's too generic. But grounding and meditation would be
Mhm.
more descriptive. So yeah, okay. And yeah, and just see what other people are putting up there. You know, I bet you there's some, you know, if they got it on YouTube and stuff like that, that's gonna be how-to type stuff, I would think, you know.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm really sorting this out because they have done a really good job on their website. And they also, I mean, they've been doing this for years, and they do a whole teaching arm too. They're just doing, I'm trying not to like even think about competing with them. I'm just wanting to offer readings. The founder of that organization said, you know, she actually, when I asked her about doing that, she was very encouraging. But I'm trying to just do my own thing. But because I learned everything from them, you know, I'm just trying to sort out like, how do I do this and not always cite them, because they also do readings as well as teaching and all this other stuff. And that's great.
Mm-hmm.
It's just that I don't want to always send my clients, you know, over to their stuff because I want to get my business, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So anyways, I'm just trying to sort out like respectfully what's the best route to take with this. Yeah.
So this is an area where you can put out, you know, so who knows what they have on the internet, right? So they may have something, I don't know, but and maybe it's something you got to pay for with them and that sort of thing. But this is an opportunity where you can, you know, you can put out a piece of content that is maybe, you know, I don't know if it's how to or whatever, but you can put your own spin on it, and you can, you know, just make it the best thing that you can do. You can cite their blog. There's not, I mean, I think that's a good idea. Not only do I think that you can do
It's
it, I
not
think,
a blog, it's a website, really.
okay, yeah.
But they have,
it's an
they have
authority.
lots of blogs too, actually.
Yeah, but it's an authority, is what, it's kind of like, it's a.
Yeah, and they have a wonderful, like, I don't even want to try to compete with like their teaching part that they're putting out online. So in a way, citing them is a way to go about it. Like
Oh.
just send somebody to them for more information on how to, and then put my own spin on it. That's kind of what I'm hearing you say.
So in the chat, Dev just said something about stopping there.